Following portion of Daytime Tri-Cities is sponsored by Ask Master Mom.
Well, you have probably heard the old saying, practice makes perfect, and that can be true in a lot of life lessons. This morning, one child asked the question, but why? Why do we practice the same moves over and over again? Master Mom Amanda Olson with Olson's Martial Arts Academy joins us now with more. Amanda, always good to have you on the show.
Thank you. It's always good to be here.
And I love when we hear from the kids. The kids get to ask the questions, and they have such great insight.
They really do, and they want to know, and I love that curiosity about kids. So.
And today, it's something, of course, with any kind of, I think, sport that they do, martial arts or ballet or whatever it may be, we do it over and over again.
Right, and sometimes they get that sense of, I want to do something different, and we do. You've got to progress through, and just like baseball, like you mentioned, dancing or music or anything that you're trying to perform with, you've got to do it over and over and over again. So keeping it interesting for the kids, but helping them understand too, some of the people that they idolize, sports, heroes or professionals like Mike Trout or Serena Williams or, these people who are amazing at what they do. If they actually studied those athletes, they'd see that they are practicing every day. They practice their serve 100 times a day. Back, somebody I watched a lot growing up, Michael Jordan, one of his goals is to hit 100 free throws in a row at the end of every practice. So he might get 65 and then he starts over when he misses, so that repetition of doing it over and over and over again is something that professionals do to be good at what they do. And I think if the kids can kind of see, okay, if I want to be at that level, I do have to do it over and over and over again, and that's why. And as coaches, we need to keep it interesting and fun for them. Keep that repetition, do it a different way, but let's practice that kick again, or let's practice, for me, that punch again, or keep them moving, keep them busy.
And it seems like, too, Amanda, that's such a great parallel for life in general, is kind of looking at it as you're building this foundation, so it sort of becomes second nature.
Right, and that's what you want, and especially for an athlete. They don't want to have to think about if they're trying to hit the ball, they don't want to think about every little thing they have to do to have that perfect hit. A lot of it needs to be automatic reflex, natural movement, stuff that they've done it 10,000 times, and then it should be natural on the field, on the court. For me, for self-defense, you don't want to be in a situation where you have to think, what should I do here? You should already know what to do, and that's why we do it over and over and over again, so it becomes natural.
And it allows you, I think, that time to actually be able to focus on something else, because the other part you've already got down.
Yeah.
That's the fundamentals.
Yeah, and one of my favorite quotes from Bruce Lee, of course, is that, I don't fear the person who practices 10,000 techniques once. I fear the person who practices one technique 10,000 times, so getting that one move down, that one swing down, that one shot down that you need to make you and the best that you can be.
And it seems like once we kind of realize that and we can build our life around that, it really helps us out not only on the athletic field, but wherever we're going after that.
Yeah, so you're not thinking about, in this moment I'm bored. I want, entertain me. We've talked about that before,
Yes, please.
But in this moment, I am practicing for my future, or I'm making sure that I'm ready for what comes next. And, studies, and like I mentioned, music, it all is the same.
It all comes together.
Even for our jobs.
I know. See, practice does make perfect,
yes.
Right? All right, well, wonderful question. Amanda, thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Thank you so much.
If you have a question that you would like to ask Amanda, you can always check out the website and post your question on AskMasterMom.com, and you can find Olson's Martial Arts Academy there on Cherry Street in downtown Johnson City.